There comes a point when you realize that feelings don't finish the job, discipline does. Emotions will beg you to stop, to slow down, to give up, to take it easy. They'll whisper excuses, create doubts, and feed your fears. But you don't build greatness by listening to feelings. You build it by sticking to the plan emotion clouds vision. It's one of the quietest, yet deadliest forces working against progress. When emotions take the wheel, logic loses control. What you once saw clearly becomes blurry, and what once felt certain becomes tangled in hesitation, doubt, and impulse. Emotion doesn't ask for permission. It demands attention. It pulls you out of alignment, shifting your focus from what must be done to how you feel about doing it. And that's the trap, because feelings are temporary, but the damage caused by letting them leak can be lasting. When emotion takes over, perspective shrinks. Small problems begin to look massive, and tiny distractions start to feel like heavy obstacles. You overthink what others said, overanalyze what might go wrong, and underestimate what you're capable of. It's not that emotion itself is bad. It's that emotion, unchecked, blinds you to truth. It can make you abandon a plan you once believed in, all because the path started feeling uncomfortable. Comfort becomes more appealing than purpose, and for a moment, the heart convinces the mind that quitting makes sense. But emotion isn't a reliable advisor. It reacts to the moment, not the mission. When you let emotion dictate your choices, you begin to mistake movement for progress. You chase after instant relief instead of long-term results. You say things you don't mean, take actions that don't align with your principles, and justify it all under the illusion of following your heart. But the heart can be deceiving. It beats fast in fear, it breaks in loss, it burns in anger, and it races in excitement, none of which guarantee wisdom. True direction doesn't come from emotional spikes, it comes from a steady vision that doesn't waver when feelings do. Emotion clouds vision because it makes you see through fog instead of focus. You start looking at things not as they are, but as they feel. If something feels difficult, you label it impossible. If someone challenges you, you label them against you. If the plan demands patience, you mistake that for failure. In the haze of emotion, logic loses its voice, and suddenly every choice feels heavier than it is. You stop moving forward because you're busy reacting instead of acting. The mind, when calm, can see clearly. It recognizes patterns, weighs outcomes, and makes decisions rooted in purpose. But when emotion intrudes, the same mind turns chaotic. It jumps from past wounds to future fears, replaying what hurt and predicting what could go wrong. The vision that once inspired you starts fading beneath waves of doubt. This is why emotional discipline isn't cold, it's clarity. It's the ability to separate how you feel from what you must do. It's choosing to act on purpose rather than reacting from pain. When emotion clouds vision, the mission becomes distorted. You lose sight of your plan, not because it stopped working, but because you stopped seeing it. You start rewriting your goals to fit your mood. You start questioning your direction because the road feels hard. And that's exactly when emotion wins. When it convinces you that the temporary discomfort of growth means you're on the wrong path. But in truth, that discomfort is proof you're still moving. Emotion clouds vision, but discipline restores focus. The moments when you feel most overwhelmed are the moments when clarity matters most. The goal hasn't changed, only your emotional weather has. Feelings rise and fall, but vision remains if you protect it. The key is not to kill emotion, but to master it, to see through the fog it creates and remember the reason you started. Because when emotion rules, you stumble. But when vision leads, you rise. Discipline over mood is the principle that separates those who dream from those who do. It's the invisible force behind every consistent success story. The quiet strength that pushes through when motivation dies out. Moods are unpredictable. They rise and fall with the weather, with the people around you. The world's tough with your own internal storms. One day you wake up ready to conquer the world, and the next, you don't even want to move. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It demands that you show up anyway. It doesn't need enthusiasm to function. It needs commitment. The truth is simple. Your goals don't care about your mood. The plan doesn't care if you're tired, heartbroken, or unmotivated. The only thing that matters is whether you do the work. When you live by mood, life becomes unstable. You start too many things but finish too few. You wait for inspiration as if achievement depends on the right emotional weather. But waiting for the right feeling is how opportunities die. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't wait. It acts consistently, regardless of emotion. It knows that mood is fleeting, but action is lasting. The person who trains when they don't feel like it, studies when their mind is tired, or works when their heart is heavy, that person builds a kind of strength no good day can give. Because discipline isn't born from comfort, it's built through resistance. Moods are emotional tides. Sometimes high with excitement, sometimes low with despair. They change without warning, and they rarely align with what needs to be done. That's why discipline must be stronger. Discipline is your anchor in the storm. It's the reminder that the mission doesn't bend to your feelings. It's the voice that says, do it anyway. When your mood says, not today, discipline replies, every day. Over time, that repetition turns into identity. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop seeking permission to act. You start doing what's necessary simply because that's who you are. Discipline protects you from the trap of emotional inconsistency. If you only work when you feel good, you'll never reach your potential. Every successful person you admire has mastered this balance. They've learned to work through the days that feel heavy, dull, or hopeless. They've realized that feelings are unreliable partners in progress. You can't build a legacy on inspiration alone. The body won't always feel strong. The mind won't always feel sharp. But discipline doesn't depend on either. It's a decision you make and keep. Choosing discipline over mood means you no longer allow temporary feelings to dictate permanent outcomes. It means you no longer take emotional days off from your goals. You might not control how you feel when you wake up, but you control what you do next. The world rewards those who keep showing up, not because they felt ready, but because they refused to quit. Discipline builds momentum, and momentum creates progress even on the darkest days. It's not about suppressing emotion or pretending you don't feel pain. It's about understanding that feelings can coexist with action. You can be sad and still move forward. You can be unmotivated and still perform. You can be uncertain and still stay consistent. Discipline isn't about being emotionless, it's about being unstoppable. It's the ability to keep walking when your mood tells you to stop, to keep pushing when your comfort demands retreat. At the end of every day, discipline decides who grows and who stays the same. Mood may inspire you, but it can't sustain you. Emotion gives you the spark, but discipline keeps the fire alive. The person who rules their mood rules their destiny, because they no longer depend on the unpredictable rhythm of feeling good to keep going. Discipline is the weapon that cuts through hesitation, the force that turns effort into excellence. When you choose discipline over mood, you take control back from emotion. And that's when the plan truly begins to work. Detach to win. It sounds harsh at first, almost cold, but detachment is not about being emotionless. It's about being in control. It's the ability to stand firm when everything around you tries to pull you apart. Detachment is clarity. It's the strength to separate what matters from what doesn't, the courage to walk away from distractions, and the wisdom to see situations as they are, not as your emotions paint them. When you learn to detach, you stop being controlled by every shift in circumstance. You stop reacting to every comment, setback, or disappointment. You begin to act with purpose, guided by logic and discipline rather than impulse and fear. Winning requires focus, and focus demands distance from emotional chaos. When you're too attached to outcomes, to people, to validation, your judgment becomes clouded. You start making decisions out of desperation instead of intention. You become reactive, emotional, and inconsistent. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You can still love deeply, work passionately, and dream boldly, but without letting those things dictate your state of mind. Because once your peace depends on anything external, you've already lost control. In every pursuit, emotion tries to interfere. Fear of failure, hunger for approval, frustration with delay. All these feelings tie you to outcomes that may not unfold the way you imagined. Detachment breaks those chains. It reminds you that your worth isn't tied to results and your strength isn't dependent on recognition. The moment you stop needing to prove yourself, you become unstoppable. The less you need, the more power you have. You perform better not because you're desperate to win, but because you're free to focus on what's within your control. Detachment also protects your energy. People will project their doubts, their negativity, and their insecurities onto you. If you're too attached to their opinions, you'll spend more time defending yourself than building yourself. Detachment allows you to hear criticism without internalizing it, to accept rejection without breaking down, and to face challenges without losing composure. You realize that not every fight deserves your response, not every emotion deserves your attention, and not every loss deserves your sorrow. The real victory is maintaining your peace in the middle of the storm. When you detach, you start seeing the bigger picture. You stop chasing instant gratification and start thinking long-term. You understand that patience is a weapon, not a weakness. You stop reacting to every emotion that passes through your mind, because you know that emotions are just weather, temporary, ever-changing, unreliable. Detachment gives you the ability to wait, to watch, to act only when it truly matters. That patience turns into precision, and precision is what wins. It takes maturity to detach. It takes strength to walk away when ego wants to fight, to stay calm when pride wants to prove a point, to keep silent when anger wants to speak. But that's where the real power lies. Detachment isn't apathy, it's mastery. It's emotional intelligence sharpened into discipline. It's knowing when to invest your energy and when to preserve it. You can't win every battle, but you can control how you fight, and detachment ensures that every move you make is intentional, not emotional. Detached to win means refusing to be ruled by chaos, refusing to let temporary feelings derail permanent goals. It's the art of keeping your center when everything else demands a reaction. The detached mind isn't numb, it's focused. It's steady when others panic, calm when others crumble. And in a world that thrives on distraction, detachment becomes your greatest advantage. It's how you stay grounded in purpose while the rest of the world drowns in emotion. Detached to win. Because sometimes, the only way to hold your ground is to let go. Focus on execution is the mindset that transforms ideas into reality. It's easy to plan, easy to visualize success, and easy to talk about goals, but the gap between intention and result is always defined by execution. Execution is the moment when theory meets action, when dreams demand proof through effort. The world is filled with people who had great ideas but never followed through. Execution separates the dreamers from the doers, the ones who imagine success from the ones who build it. Without execution, even the most perfect plan is nothing more than a wish. Focusing on execution means dedicating your energy to what actually moves you forward. It's about doing the work, not romanticizing the process. Too many people get trapped in preparation. They research endlessly, adjust their strategies, and wait for the right time. But perfection is a myth, and waiting for ideal conditions only delays progress. Execution requires movement even when you're uncertain, even when it's messy. The best doers understand that progress is built through action, refinement, and repetition, not endless hesitation. You can't think your way into mastery. You have to work your way into it. When your focus is on execution, emotion loses its power. Excuses fade, and results become the only language that matters. You stop talking about what you're going to do and start showing what you've done. Discipline becomes your default, and consistency becomes your greatest weapon. Every action, no matter how small, becomes a building block. Execution teaches humility because it reveals how difficult it is to bring ideas to life. It forces you to confront the difference between who you say you are and what you're willing to do. That confrontation is what drives growth. Execution also demands simplicity. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the next most important thing with precision. Many lose focus because they scatter their attention across too many goals, too many distractions. Execution is about narrowing your lens, locking onto one target, and giving it your full effort until it's done. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement. You don't need bigger dreams. You need better execution. The dream is already yours in concept. The work is what earns it in reality. The difference between average and elite isn't talent. It's the relentless focus on execution. Talented people often fail because they rely on potential. Disciplined executors succeed because they rely on persistence. They understand that talking, planning, and visualizing have their place, but none of them replace the grind of consistent, precise effort. Execution is repetitive. It's not glamorous. It's waking up early, staying late, doing what others overlook, and maintaining standards when nobody's watching. It's refusing to drift into comfort just because progress feels slow. When you focus on execution, you stop needing validation. You don't need to prove your dedication. Your results do it for you. Every task completed adds to your credibility. Every day you execute strengthens your momentum. And once momentum builds, it becomes self-sustaining. The process itself starts to reward you. You gain confidence not from words, but from evidence. Evidence that you can deliver, that you can endure, that you can finish. Execution is what anchors vision to the real world. Without it, goals remain fantasies. With it, even imperfect plans create transformation. The key is to keep moving, consistently, deliberately, and without overthinking. Focus on the task in front of you, give it everything you have, and then move to the next. That's how progress compounds. That's how success is built, quietly, one execution at a time. Reward comes after the grind. It's a truth that many know, but few are willing to live by. Everyone wants the reward, the success, the recognition, the comfort, the freedom, but not everyone is ready to endure the grind that builds it. The grind is the unglamorous part of the journey. It's the repetition, the sacrifice, the long nights, and the countless moments when no one is watching. It's the space between starting and succeeding where patience is tested and perseverance is proven. The grind is where your character is shaped and your discipline is forged. It's where you decide whether your dreams are just fantasies or commitments you'll suffer for. The grind is not supposed to feel good. It's meant to be uncomfortable, exhausting, and even discouraging at times. That's the point. The grind filters out the pretenders from the believers. It reveals who wants it and who merely talks about wanting it. Many people quit not because they're incapable, but because they expect the reward too early. They confuse effort with entitlement, thinking that a few hard days should already bring results. But the grind doesn't pay in promises. It pays in persistence. It only rewards those who stay long enough to earn it. The process is slow because it's designed to test you. You don't get what you want when you want it. You get it when you're ready to handle it. Reward comes after the grind because results don't respond to emotion. They respond to consistency. You can cry, complain, and doubt yourself, but if you keep moving, keep showing up, and keep doing the work, eventually the outcome bends to your will. Every drop of sweat, every missed comfort, and every sacrifice adds up. The grind is cumulative. Even when you can't see the progress, it's happening beneath the surface. Growth is invisible before it becomes undeniable. That's why quitting too soon is the greatest enemy of success. Most people don't fail. They just stop before the finish line appears. The grind humbles you. It teaches you patience, resilience, and self-control. It shows you that success isn't an event. It's a lifestyle built through countless decisions to keep going. It strips away illusions and ego until all that's left is raw effort and pure intent. When you embrace the grind, you stop expecting shortcuts and start respecting time. You realize that the reward isn't just what you get at the end, it's who you become in the process. The person who grinds day after day becomes mentally sharper, emotionally tougher, and spiritually stronger. The work changes you before it changes your circumstances. There's a reason the reward comes last. It's not just a prize, it's a reflection of endurance. The grind ensures you've earned it, that you understand its value. If rewards came instantly, they'd mean nothing. Struggle gives meaning to victory. Pain gives flavor to peace. The harder the grind, the deeper the satisfaction when the moment finally comes. Because when it does, you'll know you didn't luck your way there. You'll know every step, every failure, and every sacrifice was a brick in the foundation of your success. That understanding can't be taught. It has to be lived. So, the grind is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the world's way of asking, how badly do you want it? Most people back down when that question gets hard. But those who stay, those who keep pushing when it's painful, they find out what the reward truly feels like. The reward comes after the grind, because that's when you're finally strong enough, wise enough, and disciplined enough to hold it. The grind isn't just a path to the reward. It's the reason the reward is worth it.